besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay, and on this channel we cover all things beauty and specifically a whole lot of fragrance content. And today we are talking about the best Middle Eastern perfumes of 2024 that are more on the affordable side that I was able to get my nose on. Not all of these were released in 2024, but I did get my nose on them in 2024, so I wanted to mention at least 15 in this video. So the first one I want to talk about is Afnan's Mystique Bouquet. This is a gorgeous clean girl fragrance. I mean, it's great for everyday, easy reach, don't have to think about, but it is special to me. It is fresh and luminous. It's absolutely gorgeous to me when you just want to feel put together like your best self. You don't want something that's super gourmand, super cakey. You just want to smell fresh and clean in a gorgeous way. This one has the most beautiful fruits and citrus, and I love the way that adds the sweetness in there with that musk and with the florals. I find the peach in this scent to be quite addictive, and it's the main fruit that I do get in here. It is just such a lovely scent, you guys, and I know that it is supposed to be inspired by Vanilla from Perfumes de Marly. I have not really smelled that fragrance, so I can't confirm or deny, but I can tell you, like I said in my previous video, that if this is how Vanilla smells or even close, I completely understand the hype. And this one I believe you can get for around $35, and it's just such a lovely scent profile. Next is Lattafa's Yara Candy, and this one is quickly becoming my new favorite Yara. It's so feminine, sweet, and fruity. You really get that strawberry fizz candy. There's black currant, and I also get some fresh citrus coming from that green nectarine. I almost get like a fruit punch opening, like very sugared, very sweet, very fruity, very upright and carefree. I love the energy that I get from this scent. I think it's so fun, and I have to spray this one. I love the opening so much. That strawberry fizz candy is just to die for. It really matches the marketing of the fragrance. When I initially saw the imagery, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I thought it would be sweet and fruity, but I did not know how similar it would be to how it was represented, which I really appreciate, because I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that they were saying it was still going to be a very well balanced fragrance, I kind of thought that maybe it would be more floral than it is. You can tell that the florals are there, they're present, but they are not the stars of the show. I actually get much more fruit, much more vanilla than I do of the florals. I believe there's gardenia, that's the floral, and I know there are some gardenia haters out there. I think even if you don't appreciate that note, you might still really enjoy this, because on the dry down, that's not super apparent to me, but I can say that it does get more warm. You do get that amber with the vanilla, which I really love, in combination with the fruits and with the florals. So it's a very pretty fragrance, great for every day, great for going out with your friends, absolutely, because again, it is such a flirty, feminine vibe. If you like candy, fruity fragrances, I think this is 100% one to check out. We have Banana Bliss from Paris Corner. I believe this is a standalone fragrance, their own unique creation. This does not remind me of any other fragrances that I have in my collection, so I don't believe that it is inspired by another fragrance, but if it is, please enlighten me if you know. I'm not the biggest fan of the bottle, I have to be honest, but I do really enjoy the scent. This one is, simply put, I would say like this fluffy, rich banana bread with coconut whipped cream on top. This one smells really good. The banana in it is really mouth-watering. In all honesty, it just gives dessert vibes, and I feel like the more that it dries down, it's still super tasty. I get that warm tonka bean beautiful vanilla, spun sugar, and you still get the banana, but it's not as intense as in the opening. The banana in the opening is almost a little much for me, but I like the way that it mellows out on the dry down. It's not one that I wear every single day, but when I am craving something with this DNA, I love to pull this one out. The scent inside is what matters, and it's really mouth-watering. And I would say that this is one where I don't see myself wearing it so much in the spring and summer, so I am trying to get a good amount of use out of it before it gets warmer. Then I am obsessed with Lattafa's Sakina. This is a dark, deep, sensual berry fragrance, and specifically you're gonna pick out that raspberry. This is raspberry clear as day. I mean, anyone that I have smelled this scent immediately is like, I get berries, raspberry, and you really do here. And what I love about Sakina is that typically when fragrances do incorporate the note of raspberry, it's like this candy sweet, syrupy kind of artificial scent that you get there. With this one, you're getting more of like this dark, sexy raspberry, which you don't see often. So in my opinion, it is more unique. I love this so much. I definitely smell this and think of wine, I think of berries, I think of date night, specifically in the summer, because for me, this reminds me of a raspberry passion fruit sangria infused with those rose petals. There's some really yummy gourmands in here. I absolutely love this one. I think that it's worth getting your nose on, especially if you are considering a raspberry scent that's not like Angel Nova, for example, where it's extremely sweet. It can even be cloying to some people. You want a fragrance where the raspberry is going to be deeper, more sensual. This is a great option to have. It's perfect to me. And then because I did mention it, if you are someone that loves Angel Nova from Mugler, which I always say is the more rowdy, fun, flirtatious sister to Delina from Parfums de Marly, maybe you find that fragrance is a little too syrupy sweet, you find it too warm, you really don't appreciate that wood note, that oud in there. I feel like there's a few reasons why some people just do not vibe with that fragrance. I personally love it, but it can be a lot sometimes. Then I think you would enjoy Lattafa's Maillard, because I feel like this one is almost like a more light, fresh version. This one, you're not getting, like I said, as sweet and syrupy of a raspberry. You're actually really getting that lychee in there, which I love. You're getting the rose, but you're also getting the peony in the fragrance, which you guys know I think is such a delicate, feminine, fresh, pink floral note I just adore in my fragrances, as well as this fragrance also has the musk. And so this one is going to be a more palatable take on that fragrance in my opinion. Definitely more fresh, not as warm, not as woody. So I really like it. It's a beautiful fruity floral fragrance, and you know what? I look at it as a flanker of Angel Nova from Mugler. So beautiful option and very, very affordable. This one doesn't have a big dent because it is more new to my collection, but the times that I did use it, which I believe is like 2 times, I loved it. Then from Paris Corner, we have Kiss a Delicious, which is a scrumptious fragrance. This one is so yummy. You do get the powdery sweet vibe that you get in the original Kissa, but this one is not pink smelling. This one is not girly to me. It is just delicious, as the name would suggest. I definitely get that dark chocolate, the marshmallows, the orange. I love the way that the whipped cream just kind of brings everything together. It's a very smooth fragrance in my opinion. And you know what? It reminds me of Sabrina Carpenter's Sweet Tooth and the Caramel Dream. It's kind of like if the Caramel Dream didn't have that patchouli, it didn't have that sexy layer to it. It was just really fluffy, sweet, and delicious, just like the original Sweet Tooth, but then you added in the oranges and the dark chocolate, and then you had that hot cocoa vibe. Really nice release. Another Lattafa. I swear Lattafa and Paris Corner are killing it. Next is Badi Al Oud Sublime, and this one is inspired by Kayali's Eden Juicy Apple. A lot of people really enjoy it. They're obsessed with the DNA. They can't get enough of it, and some people feel like it lacks complexities. It's not very sophisticated, elevated. It smells very juvenile and lacks creativity. I personally love my Kayali Eden Juicy Apple. It's a fragrance that I bought. I added it into my collection in the form of a travel. I bought it on same day delivery, and that same day after sniffing it, I had to go and order the big bottle because I just love it that much. But I do agree it's not the most sophisticated fragrance. This, on the other hand, is a step up in my opinion. It definitely is more complex. You do have that moss in there that I do pick up on much more, which I think makes it smell more expensive. So this one, you also have the apple, of course, really juicy, really fruity and sweet. You have that lychee in there, as well as that dark feminine plum note, which I think just again really does add something special to the fragrance. I don't get much of the patchouli, but like I said, if anything, it's adding to making the fragrance smell more complex, more grown up. There's also some florals in here, vanilla. Yeah, it's really pretty. I mean, I like it a lot. I wear this. My mom, I bought her a bottle. She's constantly wearing it, telling me she gets so many compliments, and even my boyfriend loves to wear this fragrance. I don't think they're identical. I love having both in my collection. Oh, this one was an absolute love for me. This is Khair Fusion Lychee from Paris Corner. This one is so juicy, so vibrant and fruity in the opening. Such a happy, joyous scent, let me tell you. And it is inspired by the Kayali Lychee perfume. I feel like this one is even fruitier than that fragrance, and I think the performance on this one is even better, which if you guys didn't watch my initial review on that Kayali fragrance, I said I loved how uplifting, how girly and fun that it was, but I genuinely felt like where they missed me was the projection of the scent. The longevity was okay, and then it was very intimate leaning after the first few hours, whereas this one, I'm obsessed with the way it lingers in my scent bubble. It's so pretty to me. And yeah, you have the candied lychee, that black currant. I get a lot of the apple in this fragrance, which when I was comparing the two fragrances, which I've done in a different video, I did tell you guys that I got more of the apple and maybe less of that bright citrus. I feel like this one isn't as sparkly, but it is a really nice, bright, happy, fruity, juicy fragrance in my collection. The more that it dries down, I do pick up on more of the florals and musk and that vanilla. It's a pretty girl fragrance, perfect for going out with your friends, very high energy. I feel like this one and the lattafa Yara candy have a very similar feel. Like they don't smell the same at all. That one is much more candy-like, like strawberry fizz candy all the way, and it is much warmer on the dry down. But I do think that they give you a similar feeling, which I can totally appreciate. So yeah, very happy with this one. I will mention, like I always do, the bottles do get worn pretty quickly, so that's kind of upsetting, but I don't mind too much because when you close it, that does get concealed. But just be aware that it is going to rub off, and that's going to be something that is a little frustrating. Even though this is more affordable, I still want to say, even on a sale, typically you'll get it for around $30–40. Then we have Lattafa's Eclaire. You guys know how I feel about this one. I'm gonna keep it brief, but this one smells very similar to Bianco Latte from Giardini di Toscana. This one has that really lactonic, milky, vanilla caramel DNA. It's sweet, comforting, addictive. It's one of those gourmand fragrances that you just want to keep smelling. I like the fact that this one is not as rich and enveloping as the original, because for me, even though it is less dense, I always say they kind of cut the calories a little bit with this one. I feel like that works even better in my opinion, when you want something that's a little softer for the warmer months. So in the summer, when maybe you find that fragrance is a little cloying, this one would be a really great option. Now, I wear my Bianco Latte in the summer. I never cared, but if you do, then this would be a great option. And honestly, I love mixing this with my Bianco Latte. That way I don't have to use too much of it, because I believe this one is a third of the cost. And I would say it's the best Bianco Latte dupe that I've tried. And sniffing it right now, after some time has passed, I feel like it's actually thickening up. So I might need to test this one again soon. I know they can change over time. All fragrance really can. So yeah, I wonder if now, I mean, I wouldn't say it's as delicious as Bianco Latte, but I feel like it's getting there. Then we have Lattafa's Her Confession, and this I would say is a milky tuberose vanilla fragrance. This one reminds me of vanilla milk with that tuberose, tonka bean. There's some musk. I get subtle hints of soft spice, but it's not super noticeable. This smells really good. I do know that it's supposed to be inspired by Blanche Bette from, I think, Liquid Imaginaires. I don't have anything from that brand, but what I can say is this smells really, really good. There is something about it, I'll say, where in really warm weather, it can get quite cloying. So for me, I have to watch how I wear this one. But yeah, you really do get that vanilla milk in it, which I'm not sure if milk is even a note, but you really pick that up in here, and it's so beautiful. The floral touch is really feminine, makes it more wearable, but I don't see this being for everybody. I mean, I feel like the notes would allude to that. Again, vanilla milk, florals, musk, lots of musk. It does get quite powdery on that dry down, little nutty touches to it. Slight warm spice. It's pretty. It's just one that I would encourage you to sample if you can first. But I'm so happy to have it, especially because I did get a sample of Juliana's perfume. I can't remember what the name was, but it was inspired by Blanche Bette as well, and I did get a very similar scent profile from that, so I'm so happy to have a large bottle of this. Then we have the Musk Collection Tahara Vanilla by Gulf Orchid. This is a very simple fragrance, and I would say quite basic. I mean, it reminds me of baby powder. There's a clean, fresh vanilla in here, lots of musk, very powdery, perfect for before bed, fresh out the shower. This is just such a pretty fragrance in my collection. Super dumb reach. And yeah, it's a great fragrance. Maybe too simple for some people in their collections, but I personally love having something like this. I can just spray on and feel pretty comforted right before bed. Comforted, clean, fresh, really great, not sweet, fresh vanilla fragrance. Every time I put this on, someone says I smell baby powder, so I've seen some people say they don't get that from this, but I totally do, and the people around me always say, oh, you smell like baby powder whenever I put this on before bed. So yeah, really nice, clean, fresh option, very, very affordable. Next is Batik by Aroma Concepts, and this one made me so happy in 2024. It was a really difficult fragrance to get my hands on for a while, but once I had the opportunity, I pounced, and this is a scent that made me so happy when I was so sad and miserable after getting my wisdom teeth removed on this side. So I put it on, I felt so fresh, fruity, and put together. This fragrance, in the opening, you do get that watermelon Jolly Rancher reference, but then the more that it dries down, I get more of that melon, specifically like a green honeydew melon. I could totally see in here some of the juicy pear, really not getting much of the strawberry. but lots of that fresh musk and then hints of the praline. But for me, this is really more just fruity, fresh, almost a little shampoo-y even, which I loved for my recovery process. So this is a lovely fragrance, and I think for what it is, it actually does have pretty good performance as well. And I did look at the Aroma Concepts website, and right now the biggest 3.4 bottle is on sale for $17, under $20 for the bigger bottle. So I am heavily considering purchasing that today because this is such a happy, fruity fragrance. And a fabulous pear release was Pear Potion from the brand Amir. This is a beautiful bottle, has some nice weight to it, and the scent is so good. This one opens up with fresh, juicy green fruits. You have the pear as well as that crisp apple, and again, it's so refreshing. There's a good bit of sweetness coming through from the caramel and also from that flirty, girly, sweet raspberry in the scent. I really like it. And again, with a few of the other fragrances I've mentioned, I like the fact that it's fruity, juicy, and sweet, but even though there is the jasmine in there, that is not the star of the show. It's really about those juicy, delicious fruits. So lovely. You have some musk on the dry down. I feel like this one, the raspberry in it, like I said, does make it feel more feminine. That and the caramel, I think, makes this fragrance much more desirable. Really pretty, great take on a pear perfume. And at least in my eyes, to my nose, I feel like Rave Now Women is the best alternative to Burberry Her Elixir. This one, I love how fluffy, creamy, and fruity it is. It opens up, you get that candied citrus. You get those oranges blended in with the red fruits. It's really sweet, flirty, and fruity right away, and the more that it dries down, the more of the vanilla and marshmallow that I get, making it again very fluffy, very creamy, fruity, and super similar to Burberry Her Elixir. With that, I really enjoy it, and I get a little bit of the florals, and I do get hints of the moss, just elevating the fragrance. But yeah, I would say that this one has a more kind of fresh take. It's not as ambery, woody as the Burberry Her Elixir, but really lovely option. And I want to say you can get this fragrance for under $30, maybe even under $20 on some websites, and a very good performance for the price. Just in general, I think this one might even perform just as good as Burberry Her Elixir, if not better. But yeah, if you like pink smelling, flirty, powdery, fruity marshmallow fragrances, this one is totally one to check out. It's so girly. And finally, we have Maison Azrar's Soiree, which is a beautiful vanilla fragrance. Another fragrance where you cannot deny that there is a specific note in it. This one, it is vanilla all the way through and through. I wore this one recently to Publix, and I was told by an associate that I smelled like vanilla. He said, I love that vanilla that you're rocking. This one smells so yummy, and in the opening, very similar to Eilish #1. It's just not as sharp, ambery, and in your face. Very abrasive that opening is, and you really don't get that in this fragrance. I love Billie Eilish #1. It's a nice spicy vanilla with those hints of cacao, and I do get that in this fragrance as well. I just think it's softer. I don't find the amber nor the spice to be as intense in the fragrance. I do not really pick up on much of the florals. If anything, it's making it smell more feminine, more pretty. And then I really enjoy the gourmands. I love that praline in there, the caramel, toffee. Like, this one is really scrumptious, and I think again, if you do like Eilish #1 but you're looking for something that's just more smooth right away, you'd probably really enjoy this fragrance. I always say Eilish #1 on the opening. It's really intense, very sharp, kind of off-putting, but as it dries down, I think it's such a beautiful, smooth, spicy vanilla amber scent that I do love having in my collection, and I love that this one offers something a little bit different. And I know that was 15. I want to briefly mention and shout out Janoon Noir from Al Haramain. Beautiful Dama Bianca Casamarati dupe. This fragrance is so angelic, soft, and feminine. I mean, this is a beautiful, elegant vanilla if I've ever smelled one. It's not cupcakey. It's very feminine. Great for every day, great for before bed. I did shout out Juliana's Perfumes version as well, and I do want to put them side by side, but I will say the packaging on that one is more generic. This one feels more luxurious, and I believe the price point is not crazy different. And then you would have a nicer bottle, but both are great options. Both have great projection, longevity, much better than the original, but of course then it's not going to feel as soft, sheer, and angelic. Definitely one to check out. I want to try more from this brand this year, but those were my favorites of 2024. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please let me know in the comments down below what were your top 3 favorite Middle Eastern fragrances in 2024. If you have more for me, that is great. Don't forget, if you did enjoy the video, to like, comment, subscribe, all the good things. It does help the channel. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one, besties. Hopefully the next one we're not talking about 2024 still. We can move on, but it has been really fun. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.